Well, once again, we welcome you to Buffs Prime Time. Buffs coming off another victory this past weekend as they went down to Tucson, Arizona, 34-7. Now sit at 5-2 in the season, 3-1 in Pac-12 conference play. Getting set for Cincinnati coming to town this weekend. It's Buffs Prime Time. My voice of the Buffs, Mark Johnson. Our program brought to us by Aflac. Get help with expenses. Health insurance doesn't cover. Visit Aflac.com to learn more. Our player guest today, we got Keaton Wade coming in. We got Coach Lou coming in. And, of course, we've got the head coach here, Buffalo's, the young Coach Prime Sanders, who's ready for another 8:15 game on Saturday night. The Bearcats are coming to town.
That's good. I hope, Coach Lou coming in. I hope you got the bleep button ready.
Is that right? We got to be careful? All right.
When you're talking about football.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
And
talking about life, he's good.
And he's not on the practice field, so we don't have to worry about that,
There you
right?
go.
There's the practice persona for some guys.
That's it.
There
And
you
that's
go.
who he is. He's a totally different guy.
34-7. Boy, you know, going down to that ball game in Tucson last week, Coach, I mean, people were talking about this matchup, going to be a tight, and your team, you know, I don't know if you take this as a when I use the term workmanlike, some people think of that as a negative. I think it as a positive.
What
you
do
went
you
down
mean? Say that again.
a workman, when somebody has a workmanlike
Yeah,
performance.
yeah.
To me, that's going down and taking care of business.
That
I
means
thought
you
that's what
went
you
to
did.
work. To me, that means you went to work.
Yeah.
Yeah, you went down and you handled your business.
Yeah. And you know, we didn't have to have a Superman performance by Shador or anybody else.
Yeah.
The team ran the ball. Defense was outstanding. Was that potentially your
And
most
special teams.
special teams?
Yeah, Mata was special.
Yeah, he
Mate,
was.
Mark was special.
Yep.
The guys covered well. So it was a three-phase type of game. And that's what we expect.
Right.
We're really careful to applaud and praise the guys over something that they're supposed to be doing.
Sure.
So it's a fine line. You want to show them that you appreciate how they played and you're thankful. I'm wrong? I'm off?
No, you're good.
Okay.
You're good.
About how they played. But you also don't want to go overboard
Sure.
because that's what you expect.
Yeah.
That's what we expected to see with the pass rush. They're just several weeks late. We expected that, and we missed another 5. So we had to point that out as well in the film room. Like, we missed another 5. So we expect that type of performance for these young men.
You know, it's amazing right now the way your defense is playing. The Buffs are number one in the Pac-12, Big 12 in sacks, number one in tackles for a loss.
Yeah,
Huh? That's huge.
That's saying a lot, especially the way we started.
Yes.
And we were not playing up to our expectations, to our ability, and we really, targeted a couple guys saying, hey, man, you ain't doing your job. Now let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. And we highlighted that stuff and allowed them to see where they were failing at, and they turned it around. But it all started on the practice field.
Yeah, you talked the other day in your press conference about somebody asked you, okay, why now? And you said, well, it's preparation. It's all the things that you're talking about there. And do you find sometimes turnovers or sacks kind of come in bunches as well?
I'm not going to say that.
Yeah.
Turnovers and sacks come with proper practice habits.
Okay.
Sometimes when these young men that we're bringing in from the outside, from the portal, what I mean by outside in, they had this stereotype of how practice is from where they came from or their high school coach. We go about it a lot differently, and the expectations from these pro-caliber coaches on the staff, we don't allow them to get away with just a casual practice performance. No, we have tremendous expectations to go hard in practice. Therefore, we know what we're going to see in the game. And the better they practice, the better they perform.
I know that this was your philosophy, I think, when you played, right? You play like you practice and prepare, right?
That's right.
And that's a truism that I
That's
think
it.
young players got to learn, don't they?
They got to learn it, but you got to recruit better too.
Okay.
You got to recruit to that point. Like, if that's what you want, recruit that. Quit just targeting these 4 and 5 stars and these stars here and stars there, and they get here and they don't even twinkle.
Yeah.
You got to get the guys, the Cam Silmans. You got to get those guys, the Charlie Offerdaws, those guys that work their butts off, the Stoutmeyers, the guys that you know what you're going to get in practice and you know ultimately what you're going to get in the game.
You talk frequently, use the term, that I'm looking for dogs out there, right? How do you identify that quality in a player?
That's a shoot, man. That's not just on the field.
Yeah.
That's a dog in the classroom.
Okay.
That's a dog in the community. That's a dog with his family that when his mother looks at him, she knows that she could count on him. She know that he's dependable. So a dog means so many things. In the classroom, we don't have to chase you down for your homework. We don't have to chase you down for turning in a paper. We don't have to chase you down for that. You're going to handle that because you know that's a priority here.
Yeah.
That's a dog, being on time. I told him the story this morning. Like, sometimes God would place stories in my heart
Sure.
from way back when. and it may not even fit with what's going on right then, but it may fit for someone in this room. I told him a story about, I always wonder why I'm such a stickler for time. And you have to go back in your life and say, so what happened to make you a time-conscious person? Because I pride myself for being on time.
Yeah.
When I was, I think, 12 years old or 14, made the All-Star team, baseball. And I'm Jackie Robinson. I'm the only brother on the team. You got to understand that. I'm straight up. I'm Jackie for real. And I remember, I don't know if it was my mother or my stepfather, got me at practice. Practice started at 6. I think I got there 6:20, 6:30.
Uh-oh.
That was the day that they gave out uniforms.
Oh, really?
So we only had 14 players. I was number 14. And you know, the guys were the guys with the single digits.
Sure they were.
That's how it was back in our day. If you had a single digit, you was him.
Oh, yeah.
I was number 14, and I was so mad. I mean, the jersey was big and was bulk, because, you know, the higher the number, the bigger the size. You know, back in the day, that's
it's supposed
how
to be for the catcher at that point.
Exactly. Exactly. And I was so upset.
Right.
And I remember just sitting up there mad and upset. I still dominated. I didn't let that dismiss anything that what I was about to do on the field. But I remember being upset about being tardy.
Yeah.
And I made
And you learned a lesson.
Learned a lesson.
Yeah.
Of being tardy, being late.
And you wore a baggy uniform all season long.
Bad, but I was still raking. Still not going to cover.
Well, that I don't doubt.
Still not going to cover off that thing.
No.
But I remember those, and I said, I don't know who this story is for.
Yeah.
But someone is going to register with.
Right.
So when I tell them those stories like that, they don't forget them.
Oh, I understand
They
that.
retain them.
That makes sense. Yeah, it's going to resonate in some form or fashion.
Some form of fashion.
You know, you talk about dogs. I tell you what, you tested the old play-by-play guy here this last weekend. All of a sudden, I was seeing players I hadn't seen much this season. Keaton Wade, who we're going to have.
Let me tell you something, man. This kid never complained.
Is that right?
Never bickered, never murmured, never like, Coach, oh, when am I going to play? Never got hurt. You got to understand, we defense end, rush in, linebacker, inside linebacker, because that's what we needed him.
Yep.
Back to rush in. Never complained. Never complained. So when he came back from injury, worked his butt off so hard, we were like, we got to find a place for this guy.
Sure.
We got to get this guy on the field. So you create a package.
Yeah.
You put him on the field. Rest is history.
2 sacks.
2 sacks.
Right.
2 sacks. But that's the way he practices.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about him being somewhere, being on time, doing his schoolwork, being assertive, film study. You don't have to worry about him with nothing.
When you've got a guy, that's always impressive to me. Guys who maybe haven't found a role, and then you get an opportunity. Coaches talk about take advantage of your opportunity. It's one thing for guys to hear that. It's another for a thing to guy to go out and do it.
And so many of those guys do it, like Mario Miller does it. Like when he gets his opportunities, when he got in there at receiver, he took advantage of his opportunities. Last week, perfect example, Cash.
Yeah, Cash Cleveland.
Let me paint this picture perfect, because Cash did not take 1 rep with the first team or the second team for the whole week. But we had some bull junk going on, and you know what I'm talking about, so we had to address it. Cash, get in. Not 1 rep with the first and second team. First thing he did, we got in, he looked at, called out the Mac, called out the blitz, called out every. You could just see him up there just pointing everybody out. First rep, but he was prepared. So his film study, his preparation, even though he didn't take 1 rep with the first or second team, he was ready when his number was called. And guess what? This week, took reps with the first and the second team.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. So I'm proud of those guys when they do.
Oh, without question.
When they work like that.
Yes.
And his commitment to excellence is unbelievable.
And that position, when you're going out there making those calls.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Did you see the video of his family seeing him on TV?
That's a tearjerker, man.
Oh,
like when you watch
everybody
stuff like
was
that,
crying.
man, you like, hey, come on, man. I mean, but they said it perfectly. I mean, this guy was a no star.
Yeah.
And he's playing. And he's playing. That shows you that we don't care about that stuff, man. If you could do the job, you're going to play here. I don't care if you're a senior. I don't care if you're a grad, I don't care who you are. If you could do the job and you work your butt off in practice, you're going to play here.
So when your staff brings you tape of somebody to look at, a prospective recruit or transfer guy, and do you care to even know what what rating systems are saying about him?
No, I don't care about the rating system. I want to see what the tape says about him. I want to see who he is. What is it about this guy? Show me what is about this guy. I understand his personality. Let me see the tape. What is it about this guy that will help us get to the next level?
Right.
And I loved every bit of it. Then he's just a consistent person in who he is. He don't have good and bad days. He's the same every day.
Much of your staff you've been with for quite a long time, so they know what
me.
you're looking for, correct?
They know not to bring me no bologna and I want steak. They know I ain't looking for no bologna.
Right.
At least if you're gonna bring me bologna, take the little red ribbon from around the end of it.
Some of you might know what he's talking about. You
Yeah,
can
if
unpeel
you
your
don't know
bologna.
what if you don't
Yeah.
know what I'm talking about with the red ribbon, you probably was sheltered in your life.
I think so.
Yeah.
Another kid that they got an opportunity, Jordan Onove, wide receiver,
Yeah.
number 80, went out.
Works his butt off.
Yeah.
He just got to. He's injured. He's just injured.
Yes, yeah.
He just got to stay healthy because the kid can help us on special teams as well as the receiver position. But we have a plethora of those guys that can do the job.
Yeah.
They don't miss a beat.
I want to ask Prime. We'll go ahead and take a break here on the other side. I want to talk about Buffs ran for almost 150 yards last weekend. One sack given up. That offensive line came to play against the Cats as well. Bearcats coming in this weekend, late one, 8:15 with the kickoff. By the way, it's going to be 8:30 by the time we actually get underway. But nonetheless, 6 o'clock at the pregame on the radio network. We'll come back more with Coach Prime after this. This is Buffs Prime Time, and this is Colorado football from their field. Hey, nothing says love the Buffaloes like a stadium full of fans, but we know there's more to this story. So let's hear it. Tell CU all the reasons you love Colorado at lovecolorado.com. Back on Buffs Primetime, voice of the Buffs, Mark Johnson. We've got head coach, Coach Prime, joining us here. Buffs taking on the Bearcats of Cincinnati, 8:15. Late one on Saturday night. We'll get things underway on the network at 6. Hey, like I said before the break, your offensive line, I know you challenged those guys last week. 148 yards rushing, only gave up 1 sack. I mean, boy, they responded, didn't they?
They responded. These young men are getting grades every day, not only to me, but now we turned it where they're getting grades in front of the whole team. So however they practice, we allow them to grade themselves, and we allow the coaches to grade them. We pray that grade adds up.
Yeah.
So you don't sit up here thinking higher of yourself than the film depicts other. So it's challenging.
Okay.
Because now they're getting direct understanding and not a scolding, but the truth is being told about how they prepared and how they practiced that prior day. Yeah. So they get to see that both sides in front of the whole team.
Yeah, the eye in the sky don't lie, as they say,
and
right?
That challenges them tremendously when you see the whole scout team players as well get grades. Everyone gets a grade on their practices.
I mean, is that one of the more difficult things for players to begin to understand, having that objective view of themselves? Because, like you said, the video does not lie.
Well, when you come from situations where you were the guy, then you come in a college atmosphere and you still thinking you're the guy, and you won't admit that, no, that guy there is special. That guy there is stronger. That guy is bigger. That guy is faster. That guy is who he is. Well, he may be a senior, maybe a freshman. You can't equate to that, oftentimes. But you got to just put your head down and work. And sometimes they just think, and the parents help with that too, but them thinking otherwise than what's really on tape.
Yeah. I said to you during the break, I did a pregame interview with Jordan Seaton. That's the first time he and I have done an interview type deal together. The first thing that struck me, number one, I mean, we start the interview, and the first thing he says is, "Mr. Johnson, thanks for having me on." Right?
Jordan is.
And then talked about growing up with his grandmother and his uncle and his mom and the tough love and what the expectations are and how I meet. First off, I was blown away by kind of the maturity of him.
Yeah, but you know where that comes from? All he hangs with around here is upperclassmen. That's what the line is. And they've taken them under his wing as like, this is my little brother. So the whole offseason, he really got close with Shador. They went everywhere. This is my little brother. So seeing how it's supposed to look and how you're supposed to act, how you're supposed to greet people, that's tremendous. Because oftentimes we may not have that father figure in the home.
Sure.
Because you mentioned everybody but that father figure.
Yeah,
but
right.
The uncle was there. He's a great guy, great human being to lead Jordan in the right direction. And the mother's old school mothering we don't play about grandmama and auntie and everybody else. So that's how that goes down. But I'm telling you, it's vital when you have a room full of solid young men that can raise these youngsters up.
That's good. And it's Shador taking him under his wing, so to speak, who's defending his blind side, if you will. That's huge, isn't it?
That's huge. And to trust it.
Yeah.
To trust that, amen. Because, we got some pretty good pass rushers around here. And they got the best of them early on, but slowly but surely he was coming. And that guy will be a top 5 pick in a couple years.
He's a special one. Just being in my line of work and watching you athletes all these years, I've always said that special happens. There are a lot of talented guys out there, right? A lot of guys have a lot of talent. But when you get guys yourself or a Jordan or a Bo Jackson or Wayne Gretzky, those kind, right? When you get the physical and the mental and it's in the same package,
that's right.
That's when special happens.
It's hard not to make plays. But the thing about Jordan as well is you're going to see him after practice every day, working on a little something, working on this, or maybe running, or working on his technique. And when you get a guy that's special, has all the attributes, but he works as well, he's going to win.
Yeah.
The problem is when you got a guy like that and have all these things going for himself and he don't want to work. He's not going to be successful over the long haul. And that's when you start seeing the inconsistency or you see the flashes. When you see players flash, you know what that means? He has it, but he don't want to work to mature it.
The one thing that struck me about Jordan, too, because he came in with all kinds of hoopla and expectation, and I asked him about that. Because it's easy when you get told how great you are, and he's the #1 tackle in America, you kind of get, the old phrase, drunk on your own wine, right? You're like, oh, I'm kind of special. I said, well, how do you deal with that? And he says, I don't deal with it. All I do is focus on the business
That's
at
it.
hand.
And you know what? We don't serve alcohol here.
Yeah.
We're not gonna help you get drunk.
Right,
'Cause I
right.
remember he had a great game a couple weeks ago. I said, hey man, and team meeting, don't believe that mess.
Yeah.
Don't believe that you him. Do not believe these little grades and whoever's putting them out. Don't believe that mess, because you know darn well how many times that guy could have had you.
Mm-hmm.
If Shador would have held that ball a second longer, or not gotten rid of it, or his read went open, you know. So don't believe that mess. We tell all of them. Like we tell the DBs that too. Like, we ain't give up a big play last week, but guess what? Look at the film.
Does a great player have to never be satisfied?
That's right.
Is that what you want?
As part of what constitutes that he's a great player.
Yeah.
That he should never be satisfied. He should never not be hungry. He should never not want to watch one more hour of film. He should always want more.
Coach Lewis is going to come up here shortly. What do you want to say about him?
I really don't like him. I didn't know he was right there.
Yeah, he's in there now.
I didn't know he was right there. I'm sorry. I didn't know he was over there, Coach. My bad.
Better edit yourself
Now,
a
let
little
me
bit.
tell you something, man. You talk about demanding the commitment to excellence on and off the field. Yeah. He is that. But it's easy to be that when you were that. Hear what I'm saying? It's easy to be that when you were that.
Sure.
So when he's talking to those guys, he's telling you, he's being your navigational system, telling you how he got there. It's a first rounder, man. Like, come on, guys. This ain't Tom, Dick, Harry, or Larry telling you how to get there. This is the voice. This is the black voice in the navigational system telling you how to get there. And I'm waiting to hear one of those. Can we have a brother or sister in a navigational system or something Siri? Can Siri be a sister like Roxanne or something?
You can get everything else, Sandra.
We can't get that?
Hey, you know what? Just you and I come up with great ideas in the show.
Great idea.
I think right now you should be the voice of that. Huh? There's with all your business interest and
but
connections.
I want to talk like I talk.
Right, right.
Like when you missed the turn. Now you know what I just said. I just told you the turn. Right there. That's why we in the situation we in right now, because you don't. I want to talk.
Now we're
like
talking
that.
right.
Yeah, I want a real navigation.
I want to come down the road, take a wrong turn, and have Prime say to me, "Hey, we don't need no bull junk here."
You're right. First thing I'm gonna say is, dog. Dog, you know that was our turn. Right? I want to hear D. Lou in the navigation system. I guarantee you're going to have to turn it down.
That's going to be the PG version, though, right?
If you don't get your...
Although Coach Lou, he told me that you got to clean it up for the show here.
He's good as long as he ain't on grass.
Okay.
As long as he ain't on grass. You put some grass up on his feet, it's a different man over there.
And we got problems.
And ask him about, he got a young dog, too.
Yeah.
It's his son now.
Is that right?
Yeah, please.
Got to talk to him about that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
How old's his son?
Yeah, he gonna tell you all that.
Okay,
he's recruitable. That's all I'm saying. He's recruitable. Let's just get that straight.
Is he a chip off the old block like Daddy was?
Yes, he is.
All right. I understand. That's good stuff. I think we're onto something here. Prime's voice on like Siri or whatever navigational system.
Yep.
I think we got something going on here. Somebody out there is going to do that, give you a call, and you can make more money.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
I know that. Hey, Cincinnati's coming in here. Give me a quick thought or two about pretty good football team.
Man. Fundamentally sound. They're not going to beat themselves. We're going to have to do that for them. Offensively, they run the ball well. They even throw the ball well. Tremendous balance. Quarterbacks don't make a lot of mistakes. They got some hard runners back there that can house it, that can run physically. The receivers are pretty good size offensive line. Defensively, they got a huge guy in the middle that can make it happen, that can stuff the run. They drop 8 tremendously. We're going to have to run the football. Remember what I said. We're going to have to run the football to really defeat this team, or catch them in blitzing situations where they may go one-on-one. They don't do it a lot, but catch them, force them into those situations.
Yeah, that's the thing we see. When you're playing quality teams down the back half of the season like this, right, you're playing good teams. They don't make mistakes. You got to win a game. You're not going to
And you got to force them to do what you want them to do. You got to score some points where they have to get into something that they're not comfortable with.
Yeah. What are you going to do during the bye week?
First of all, let's win.
Yeah, first that. Yeah,
let's win.
Yes.
Let's win, then we'll take care of that.
Okay.
We'll take care of that. Let's win. Because the bye week ain't the same bye week unless you win.
Yeah. Does it, if you come off a bye week or you head into a bye week, I should say, on a bad experience, does that eat you the whole week?
Yeah, because you're thinking about it. You're
Yeah.
thinking about what you could and should and would have done.
Right.
And you don't want to go into that like that. You want to go into a bye week successful, thinking about the things you need to do to maintain it, or the things that you need to do to be better, and eliminate the foolishness that you have allowed to surface.
So either way, win or lose, you drive your staff crazy then during the bye week.
Yeah, well, during the bye week, they
Now,
know
Coach Lou's laughing over there.
because he know when I leave and I come back, it's on. They all know that.
Hey, health-wise, how's Travis?
Travis is good.
Yeah.
Travis is much better than last week. He should be able to contribute a lot more. 14 the same way.
Yeah.
Let me see. We had anybody on defense? We got a bunch of guys. Little nicked here and there. Mari McNeil, same way. Several guys a little banged up.
You know, the good thing was with Travis is he's kind of nursing this thing. We didn't really need him in the second half last week.
Well,
he could sit
you
around.
need his presence.
Yeah.
See, the thing about it, he may not have made a play,
Sure.
but just him on that side on offense, it pulls that safety over. It pulls
Sure it
other
does.
things over. It forces them to play something because you don't want to leave him one-on-one out there. So it forces them to do some things they would normally do. Then when he's on the defensive side of the ball, quarterback's not going to do that.
Right.
You're not going to take that chance to see if he's healthy. Who wants to see if he's healthy? It may cost you 6 points.
Yeah, you're going to go test Superman over there?
That's right.
How did Shiloh bounce back last week?
Shiloh did well.
Yeah.
Shiloh was physical. He did his thing. He came with balance and made some sure tackles, but he started off, I think, in the quarterback pressure, a hit on the quarterback early on, and that got us started, got us going. But I told you, I don't worry about him.
Yeah.
That's the one kid I don't worry about. That's the first time you ever seen him vulnerable was a couple weeks ago in what he does. But he's physical. He's the mouthpiece back there. He's the presence back there. I love what he brings to our defense.
But even the way he and we talked a little bit about it last week. Even the way he approached it shows there's a mental strength with him.
Yeah. Well, it better be.
Yeah.
You've been living in the house with me for 100 years now. I would hope so.
That's right.
I'm leading him in the right path and in the right direction. But he took fathering really well last week, and I'm proud of that because some kids could buck against you and want to go the other way thinking they know it all, but he really received it. So we had conversations every day.
By the way, real quick here before we go to a break, and the photo that came out of you walking arm in arm with Shador and Shiloh and Bucky behind you, you got to get that thing framed to put up someplace, huh?
No, I told him that's going in the crib.
That was cool.
Yeah, that's iconic because Shiloh usually is never there. I usually catch him when I get back and pray with him. But he happened to be coming from that side, and Bucky's already back there capturing us like he does it every week. So that was an iconic picture.
That was a nice father-son's moment.
And this is it. This is the Last Supper.
All right, somebody out there that's on the business side, give Prime a call. He needs to be the voice on somebody's GPS. I think that'd be outstanding. No bull junk when you make a run.
Right.
That'd be good. Hey, good luck on Saturday.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you guys.
Coach Prime and the Buffaloes will take on Cincinnati 8:15 on Saturday night, 6 p.m. on the network. Coach Lou, he's got stories to tell. We're going to talk to him next during our assistant segment. That comes after a break. This is Colorado Football from Learfield. University of Colorado football is brought to us by Eco Products. Every stadium generates some food waste on game days, but thanks in part to certified compostable packaging from Boulder-based Eco Products, the dedicated team at Folsom Field is able to turn a lot of that food and packaging. It comes in a compost instead. Eco Products proud once again to be the official zero-waste partner of the Buffaloes. Time for our assistant coach segment. Coach Lewis joining us. Damian Lewis, defensive line coach for the Buffaloes. Nice win last week, huh?
Yeah, it was. Great win. The guys did a really good job.
Oh, there we go. Let's bring the microphone in. We got a little headset issue. We're going to have you hold that there, Coach. Something went wrong on our headset. We saw it coming and didn't take care of it. All right.
Oh, it was a great win.
Yeah.
Especially up front. See the guys go out and rush the pass the way they did.
Yeah.
The way we handled the run game, it was the lowest amount of rush yards we've had in the game all year. So it's kind of like a complete game for the guys up front.
You know, this group has really been an upgrade this season on the defensive front up there. Did you kind of get the sense in fall camp that maybe this unit had a chance to be a little special?
Yes, we were going in camp, and I would see flashes like it was going like every other day. The guys would jump out and do something really good on Monday. Tuesday would kind of be a low. Wednesday, it would be the same thing. They would come out and just be explosive in practice. So you saw the signs of it being there, and it was just a matter of getting the guys to be consistent and be better with their communication and get to where they could work together out there on the field.
Along the same lines then, the sacks weren't coming early. Now they've come in bunches here the last few weeks. Did you kind of get a sense that was going to break open as well?
Yeah, they were getting close, you know, and that also comes with stopping the run game. You know,
Sure.
The first couple of games of the season, heavy run teams and a lot of play action pass. So naturally your sack numbers are not going to be as great as you want them to be.
Mm-hmm.
But if you can make those teams one-dimensional and put them in a situation to where they got to go to a drop-back passing game, then you got a chance to go rush them. But we never got in that situation because it was so much back and forth on the scoreboard. Never got a lead and got a chance to rush.
You were a great player. How did you get into coaching? How did that happen?
I always did it. It's like when I retired from the NFL, I started coaching high school football.
Yeah.
So I got into that. I had a little business on the side that I was doing with a partner. We sold the business, and then I went full-time at FIU.
Okay.
So I went down with Butch Davis, who was my college coach.
Yeah.
I was there for 2 years, and then I went out to Seattle to the Seahawks with Pete and that group of guys.
Pete
It
Carroll.
was Clinton Hurt, who helped me get that job.
Yeah.
Clinton and I played college ball together, and ended up being there for 4 years. So I went as an assistant, and that turned into the D-line coach there.
How
So
many?
it's pretty cool.
I apologize. I don't know what to tell me. How many years did you play in the league?
I played in the league 10 years.
10 years. I knew it was 8, 9, 10 years, somewhere in that range. Did you know while you were playing, even as a young player, I think I eventually want to coach?
I had a feeling it was going to happen. It's kind of like, I don't know if I want to do it. I don't want to have the time commitment to it.
Right.
But it was
Those guys work
always
hard,
natural.
those coaches,
they work
right?
a lot of hours, especially back then.
Yeah.
And it was just always there. Like, I would always help guys on the field. Like, we'd always stay after practice later or get out early and just do stuff together. So I was always one of those guys that paid attention to the detail and the development, especially with the young guys as I got older in the league. So.
Yeah. It's the impact you can have, especially I think at the college level. Over when you get to the professional level, you're dealing with grown men. Is that one of the aspects you really enjoy? Is the fact that you can have an impact on these young guys?
Yeah, it's amazing because you with them, you don't get them as long as you get the guys in the league.
Yeah.
But the impact that you have with the time that you have with the guys, it's what you make of it. And I try to spend every second with these dudes to make sure that I'm downloading good football stuff into them. And make sure that we're getting good football knowledge, good football technique, just things that's going to always be there to help them, whether it be mindset, how you approach practice, how you approach film study. Every aspect of the game I try to make sure I cover with them and make sure that they have the tools to, if they do get the chance to play on Sunday, that it carries over and it's going to help them prolong their career as they get into the NFL.
You work alongside, you and Coach Sapp work together. How does that relationship work? How do you guys kind of divvy things up? How does that work?
Well, it makes it easy because we cut from the same cloth.
Sure.
Both of us came from the University of Miami. Yeah. And then with Coach Dancy comes in, he's from the South as well. So we have that connection there. We are all good friends. We spend a lot of time with each other. We talk a lot. We talk about techniques and how guys are playing, the development of the guys. Like, those are constant conversations that we're having. So when we're in the meeting room with the guys, it's like I say something. If I miss a void, Sapp will feel it. Coach Dancy will grab the ends. If he misses a void, I'll feel it. So we're kind of always on the same page with one another when we're talking to them.
What is a commonality amongst you guys that played in that defensive front? What's one of the characteristics you look for in a defensive lineman?
Got to have some dog mentality
right?
to you. Yeah, he's got to be a go-getter.
Got to be relentless, don't you?
Got to be relentless.
Yeah.
Got to, have that little space you can go to where you got that look in your eye. You know, we all a little cray-cray doing this.
Right,
You know,
right.
everybody doing this. We don't have great sense all the time, so to speak. So, I mean, we're smart guys. We're intelligent guys. But when we get to that level, we're like, okay, it's on. It's a warrior mentality.
Because if you play that position, you rush, you may come up empty, and then you make a play, right? I mean, so you can go a while before you get the payoff.
The glass always has to be half full.
Yeah.
If it's not this one, it's the next one.
Yeah.
If it's not this one, it's the next one. It's the next play after this, next play, next play. Can't get hung up on what happened to play before. It's always on to the next. So that short memory and that desire to pull the trigger and go make the play and be the guy to help your team win, be the teammate and sit down and hold into those double teams for the linebackers, like those are the sacrifices you got to be willing to make for the team. And it's just got to be innate. It's got to be natural to come out of you. And you want that leadership role. You want that type of mentality when you're playing. Like, I'm going to split the double team to help my linebackers, but I can still make the play. I'm going to get off the ball and go set the edge so the ball will cut back, but I'm still in position to help make the play.
Sure.
I'm always doing my job with the assistance of me helping making the play.
I'm going to throw just a couple of names from your group up there. Just have you give me a quick comment.
Okay.
Chidozie Nwankwo.
Dog.
Yeah.
Absolute pit bull. Like, he's the shortest dude on the defensive line, but he's the roughest and the toughest, and he plays the best technique out of all the guys up front.
I did an interview with him a while back, and I said to him, how can you be such a jovial, nice guy? And then what happens when you walk across the line? Because he's kind of tough out there.
So that was a little off, man. You know, when you look at him, he's nice, but, you know, it's
Right.
always that little factor, like, this dude ain't all the way there. You're a smart kid, great kid, but, you know, he just got a little something to him. Like, if that switch hits, it's going to be on.
If you want to turn him into a softie, they'll bring up his daughter.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Oh,
That's
jeez.
most of us.
I brought it up, and I thought he was going to start crying on the interview.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he was
yeah.
just
He's a young dad,
yeah.
and, you know, his daughter's young, and he's into that mode and all the stuff, you know, he had to do this offseason, make sure he had his daughter up here to spend some time with her.
Awesome.
You know, he's really locked into that, and that's amazing to see.
How about Shane Cokes?
Shane is the kid. We always joke with him. I'll joke with him because I don't believe this, but I say it anyway.
Yeah.
But he's the kid you want your daughter to marry.
Yeah, yes, yeah.
I don't want my
can see
daughter
that.
marrying now one of them.
Yes.
Yeah. But he is a great kid. He is. He's a really awesome dude.
Like a gentleman.
Yeah, really nice kid, really well educated, like carries himself well, does a great job holding himself. We did the Bells and Buffs
Yep.
deal a couple of weeks
Bells,
ago,
yep.
and he did an amazing job with that as well.
Well, he's the kind of guy, when you talk to him, you're thinking, well, he's going to be a CEO at some point in time.
Yeah,
right?
at some point,
Coat
yes.
and tie and running a company simply.
But he's got a little switch, too.
Yeah, he does.
He has
How about
a little
Amari
switch.
McNeil?
Amari is a guy who I'm really proud of because when we got here in the spring, he was like my problem child.
Yeah.
You know, it was the way he played, it just wasn't beneficial for what we're trying to do up front, but he bought into the coaching, and it was a journey, but we got there. So now he's playing exactly how I'd imagine him to be able to play and how to be able to produce on the field. The only thing I need him to do is when he gets to the quarterback, get him down because he got a lot of missed sacks right now. You know, that kind of sits bad with him. It sits bad with me, too.
You know, Coach Barnett, who I work with in a broadcast, he's got a great term he likes to use for players. He goes, that guy's got suddenness.
Yes.
Right? B.J. Green's got suddenness, doesn't he?
Yes, he does, and he's explosive.
Yeah.
So he's sudden to the ball, but when he puts his hands on people, they move. And you think about a guy who's, 5'11", playing defensive end, touching, 315-pound offensive linemen and knocking them off their feet. It's pretty awesome to see.
Reed's telling me we got about a minute left, but I got a couple things I got to get to for you. We're going to talk to Keaton Wade. What a great story for him to come in and finally get a chance and do what he did last week.
Yeah, so in the summer he hurts himself. Like they're doing one-on-ones with the offensive line. You know, it's their own voluntary drills and stuff they're doing. And he breaks his fifth met. But, you know, he stayed at it. He came in, got treatment every day, stayed locked into the meeting rooms, never drifted in that.
Yeah.
And so he started practicing a few weeks ago, and he was up to speed on all the calls. He did his studying. He did his film study on guys and preparing for the season as it went. And then when he got a shot, he didn't waste a moment.
Yeah.
You know, he got in, and it looked like he has not missed a game the entire season.
Opportunity, took advantage of it.
Yes, he did.
All right, tell me about this son you've got. What kind of player are we talking about here?
So my son that's my little mini-me.
Right.
But he's in North Carolina. He's over at Marvin Ridge High School.
Okay.
He's 17 years old. He's a junior. But right now he's a 3-star, pushing to be a 4-star recruit.
Is he a D lineman too?
He's a defensive lineman.
Okay.
He plays defensive end and he plays defensive tackle.
Okay.
But he's like his old man. He can get off the ball. He's striking and knocking back like he does exactly the way Daddy tell him to do.
Love
so, you know, he's really doing well. I'm really proud of him.
So
really
how much
proud of him.
pressure is Prime putting on you about that?
Not much,
No?
no, because he met him when he came here for the Baylor game
Okay.
unofficial,
Nice.
and he got to meet him and got to see how he's a great kid, really good kid. Mom's done a great job with him.
Before we let you go here, we've got Cincinnati coming to town this weekend. What kind of challenges up front do they pose for you guys?
I think up front we have to do a great job of making them one-dimensional. We have to get them in a situation where they just can't feel like they can run the ball when they feel like it.
Yeah.
I just feel like with the defensive line, we got to do a great job of control, spacing up front, and our linebackers got to do a really good job of getting downhill. And that's something we got to be on from the start because I got a feeling they're going to come out and try to run the ball on us.
Yeah.
You know, they're going to try to establish that to open up for their quarterback because their quarterback, when the pocket's clean, he's pretty good. He can put the ball on the dime.
Going to
So
be
he
a
does
great
a good
game.
job of throwing it.
Great game. Late one on Saturday. Hey, thanks for being here.
I appreciate it.
Nice
Appreciate
job.
you guys having us.
I wish we had more time with Coach Lewis. See you. The Buffs will take on the Bearcats on Saturday night, 8:15 kickoff, 6 p.m. on the network with the pregame. The aforementioned Keaton Wade is going to join us after a timeout. Final segment on Buffs Primetime. This is Colorado Football from Learfield. Buzz Prime Time is presented by Aflac. Get help with expenses health insurance doesn't cover. Visit Aflac.com to learn more. And brought to us by Hilton's on Canyon. Coming to Boulder for game day. Stay at the Hilton's on Canyon, proud partner of the Colorado Buffaloes. Well, defensive end, Keaton Wade joining us. If you hadn't heard his name, you certainly did last week. He had a couple of sacks in that victory of Arizona. Congratulations to you, man.
Thank you for having me on here. It's awesome.
Yeah. So you had been injured, and you finally get an opportunity to go out and take advantage of it. How much fun was that?
That was fun. I'm just blessed to have the opportunity to go out there and showcase my skills. D-Lou, Dancy, and Sap and Livingston believed in me and let me out there so I could do what I do.
Tell people how you got here, because you were at Kentucky. How did you end up at Colorado?
Yes, sir. So I spent my first 2 years of college at University of Kentucky. All love for them. They did me well, and I hope I did them well too.
Yeah.
They taught me things. But I felt like I needed a change and needed a new experience. So I hopped in the portal with my twin brother. So and I got here, and it was still a rough start. Like you said, I got injured.
Yeah.
But I'm just glad I'm here and get to play now.
So how did you and your twin brother? He ends up a quarterback. That's a glamour position, man.
Yeah,
you're in one of kind of a blue collar position out there in the defensive line.
For sure. So he just started off. My dad coached us when we were young, so he started off at quarterback ever since he was 5.
Okay.
He played that position all
right.
along, but I played like the dirty positions, like on the line and offensive, defensive line. But it was fun. It's been fun playing with him. But yeah, that's how.
I just asked Keaton. I said, "Okay, who's the older brother?" He's 2 minutes older.
Right, 2 minutes, 2 to 3 minutes older. But like I said, I got the size and strength.
So you're bigger,
on
but
him.
he's always big brother then, right?
Yeah, he's always big brother. I'm the youngest out of 2 brothers. So
Yeah.
yes,
How much fun is it playing in this defensive system?
it's awesome. I feel
Yeah.
like Coach Livingston just lets us play and do what we do. He lets us play free, not robotic. I love it, honestly.
Now you got in and you kind of got your feet wet, and I mean now you feel like, okay, man, let me loose, right?
Right. Yeah, I just feel like whatever I can do to help the team, honestly, whatever package they give me or if I'm on the edge or anything I can do to help this team in the film room or outside.
You feel totally healthy now? I mean, you
Yeah,
feel
yes,
good?
sir. I feel 100%, just making sure my body right. Definitely feel a little sore after getting back in the game, but just making sure I get in the training room and getting that right.
You know, we got you out there last week down at Tucson, so this weekend you get to play at Folsom Field. You looking forward to that?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Definitely be my first time stepping foot on the Folsom, playing, getting that experience. But it was also an awesome experience from the sideline also.
Sure, no doubt about that. You like these night games?
Yeah, I love night games, honestly, yeah. It's
See,
awesome.
Coach and I,
atmosphere.
us old guys, we can't stay up that late, but for you, that's nothing, right?
It's nothing. It does get a little anticipated, like before kickoff, just waiting that long in the hotel, but it's awesome.
Yeah, late one, again, that'll be 8, well, they say 8:15. It's not going to be till 8:30 or so until we get that one underway. You and your brother live together?
Yes, sir, we
Yeah?
do.
Yeah.
2-bed apartment, me and my bro. Yeah.
Like it. Hey, congratulations. Keep up the great work. I'm going to keep calling your name, getting sacks this weekend, all right?
Yes, sir, appreciate it.
All
I
right.
will.
Edge guy, number 27, Keaton Wade. He and the Buffaloes have got the Bearcats in town on Saturday night, 8:15. We're going to hit the air at 6 o'clock, and the radio network will be out Dwayne Field for the first hour plus. We thank Keaton, Coach Lou, and Coach Prime for joining us. It's the Buffaloes and the Bearcats. Big one coming up, 2-5-2 teams, 3-1 a Big 12 conference play on Saturday night. I'm voice of the boss, Mark Johnson. Thanks for joining us on Bus Prime Time. This is Colorado football from Learfield.